Vegas? Or...
It's been a hell of a long week.
Yeah. It's been rough.
We waited till Friday night to do this so we could calm down a little bit. And there's no reason to go over stats or anything like that. We took an honest ass whipping.
Yes.
A complete embarrassment.
Actually, do you know this is the first game they had this season that the results were kind of what I expected.
Yeah.
I know I always pick the Giants to win, but remember when we were looking at the stats last week with that game?
Yeah.
And it was like, looks like the Giants are.
They didn't lie, did they?
They're going to get smoked by this team.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they got smoked.
I was listening to Mike Francesa, and he actually mentioned something. There must be a backstory that I'm missing on this. Maybe you know it, maybe there isn't one. He mentioned that prior to the game in the Rams locker room, Sean McVay said to the Ram players, "We're not here to beat the Giants. We're here to embarrass the Giants." And that's exactly what they did.
I hadn't heard that story.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that
that
story.
was the first time I'd heard that. Mike Francesa's pretty spot on with a lot of things.
Well,
he does his homework.
the Rams embarrassed the Giants.
Certainly.
I mean, it was embarrassing.
Yeah. Since, was it 1961? That's the first time 50 points have been scored on the Giants?
At home.
At home.
Because a couple years ago, they lost to New Orleans, but in New Orleans, and New Orleans scored 52, I think.
Okay.
But the Giants had scored 49.
Yeah.
So it was a crazy game.
High scoring game, but not a blowout.
Yeah, Eli threw 7 touchdown passes that game. So
Yeah.
he was good for fantasy that week.
We talked a while back about Brad Wing being in the garbage box, pail, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You can stick Rosas in there too.
You know, at first, remember when he kicked earlier in the
Yeah.
season, and we were thinking, man, hopefully we've got a kicker for a long time.
Yeah.
Now I don't see him being on this team next year.
No.
You know, you have one job.
Yeah.
One job, and you have to do that job to near perfection.
Right.
You know, because there's plenty of guys on other teams that do.
Yeah. And again, Brad Wing proved that he can't kick for shit either.
He had that block.
Yeah. No, he had another one that went off the side of his foot and didn't go very
He
far.
seems like at least one punt a game that he doesn't have a good punt.
We need everyone.
And but the block was not,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's not really on him, but on the other hand, it's the special teams just in general is not playing well this year. They're just not playing well.
Yeah. Well, offense, interestingly enough, when they first started the game, the offense was running the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
Until we had a fumble.
And then...
And how that 3 games in a row now.
Well, actually...
Where we've had...
a fumble in the running game.
That was Eli's fumble, right?
No.
Because Dark was
there
his first.
There was also... No, Gallman fumbled.
Oh, that's right, Gallman. Yeah, Gallman fumble.
So you're talking about Eli's fumble, or you're talking about the Gallman fumble when you're talking about the running game? Or you were talking about Eli's fumble?
I was talking about Eli's fumble.
Yeah,
primarily.
that's, you know, Manning, you know how much I love Eli, but he's got to get that under control because that's the 3rd fumble he's had in 4 games.
And they've taken that fumble and gone to the...
Every single one of them has turned into a touchdown. And the one against the Chargers basically cost us the game.
Yeah.
You know, because they scored and went ahead. We actually had the lead in that game.
Yeah.
And then we didn't have any time to come back. Not that we could, you know.
And so, okay, we expect that the offense isn't going to produce. They've produced 1 game this year for the most part. I mean, they kept us in some of the games earlier in the season.
They did.
They kept us in some of the games. They started to come around.
I think this is the first game that we really haven't been in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we were out of this game real fast. They
We
were
were
just
outclassed. We were
they were
outplayed.
flat out they were getting huge plays on this defense.
Yeah.
Huge plays. They were picking up 20, 30 yards. They must have done that on 10 different occasions. Picked up 20 yards or more. They just crushing them. And the third and 33. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I just was just silent.
Yeah.
When that happened, I was just like,
Game over.
did that really just happen?
Yeah.
That is horrible football.
That is. It is.
Horrible. That was so embarrassing.
This team gave up.
So
They
embarrassing.
gave up.
It seemed like they kind of gave up.
Yeah.
The defense doesn't look like it was playing very hard this game.
They embarrassed. It was funny during the. Well, there's nothing funny about it, but McAnoodle in the post game press conference, somebody asked him, "Is the team embarrassed by this?" He said, "No, we're disappointed." How can you not fucking be embarrassed? How can you not be embarrassed?
I just think
really, is this guy that out of it?
When it comes to him on the mic in front of reporters, I just don't think he does a great job.
No.
You know, he tries to kind of be like stern, like Belichick, elusive to a certain extent, but he just doesn't pull it off.
No.
He just doesn't pull it off. Some guys did. Maybe he's trying to, be Parcells, because Parcells was kind of snarky to the media like that. But he's just not.
But
pulling
everybody
it off.
sees through that. Everybody sees through it.
Yeah, it's just not.
Yeah, this guy
It's not
doesn't
working
have it.
for him.
And then they
he
ask
just
him.
doesn't
They
have
ask him, what did you tell the team at halftime? He couldn't even answer the question. He had no answer for that question whatsoever. It was crickets, as we like to say, dead silence.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's pretty much the way the rest of the season is. Dead silence.
You know what? Players right now have to play for their contracts.
Sure.
For their resume, I guess you want to
Yeah.
say. Because if a guy quits, like it looked like some of the defensive players weren't playing very hard, people see that.
Yeah.
People around the league see that. I don't care how bad your team is doing. You still got to put it on. You still got to put it out there. So you know what? However much somebody doesn't like, McAdoo.
McAdoo.
You're saying McAnoodle. I'm forgetting his name now
Blueberry.
because we never really called him by his real name. McAdoo. So no matter how much somebody doesn't like McAdoo or doesn't like, Spagnola or whoever in the coaching,
Yeah, Reese.
you know what? You're still a professional and you still go out there and you put it all on the field.
Yeah.
Period.
You've got a stadium full of fans that want to win, and by the middle of the fourth quarter, they're gone. They're gone. You didn't just give up on yourself, the coach. You gave up on the fans.
I mean, from the beginning of the season, it just doesn't seem like his team has played with any sort of intensity, any heart.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
just no heart in this game.
But do you see heart in the coach?
Well, not really.
No, I don't either.
And
I
you're
don't
right.
either. Maybe
You're
he
right.
ought to be pissed.
It trickles down, I think.
Yeah, he just, I
It's
don't
just
know.
not, you know what? I heard somebody say that, what do great leaders do? Great leaders create the environment for people to succeed. That environment right now does not exist
That's right.
with the New York Giants franchise. It doesn't exist.
That's a good point. That's
It
a
doesn't
very good
exist.
point.
The environment to succeed, the environment to win,
Yeah.
it just doesn't exist
Yeah.
right now with this team, unfortunately. And we have to witness it as fans, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, this whole week has been loser week. And what I mean by that is we've got players coming out anonymously talking shit about the coach. Not that he doesn't deserve it. But if you got balls enough to say something, do it with your face on the camera.
I agree with
Okay?
that.
All right? If you're going to say something, get the balls up. All right? You're $1 million players here. Get the balls up and say it in front of the camera. That's the bottom line. So whatever they have to say, whether it's right or wrong, is irrelevant because they didn't have the balls to come out and say it face to face. Okay? And then granted, a couple of the guys, I can't even think about them now, they came out and they backed the coach. Okay, fine, somebody's got to back him.
Collins.
Yeah, it was Landon Collins and one of the other guys.
Cromartie, I think it was.
That's right, DRC.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'm just getting carried away. But yeah, they came out and they backed the coach. Okay, well, that's really sweet. But, you know, it's nice that you can show your face then, but who were the ones that were the anonymous talkers here? And to be quite honest, I want to hear a guy like JPP grab that son of a bitch by the neck and say, listen, whatever you have to say stays in here, or you say it face to face. Okay? Keep your fucking mouth shut otherwise.
That could have happened. Simple.
Maybe it did. They obviously kept it in there if it did.
That would be great.
Yeah.
If somebody...
That's the whole thing. I mean, we talked about, and I know we've gone back and forth with leadership and the leadership of how does Eli lead and everything like that. But I'm still not seeing somebody step forward to let the fans know straight up that we got this. Okay, now what are we playing for? We're not playing to get in the playoffs. That's for damn sure. You know, so now we got to, you know, and what are they going to do? Tank the season so they can get a great draft choice?
That's the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard. Furthermore, based on their past of drafting, we got a 1 in 8 chance of getting anything. Because if it wasn't for Evan Ingram, who's really, you know, when you say the team quit, we saw guys like Evan Ingram. He was pissed. He didn't quit. Snacks didn't quit. And there are a few guys on. I don't think Eli quit. He's not a quitter. All right. Sometimes he kind of walks off a little Gumby Mopey kind of shit.
He's hard.
But yeah, he's a hard player. All right. But we got a 1 in 8 chance of getting anything decent because Reese doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, and he's proven that pretty well.
I think that management is on the chopping block.
Yeah. I think that's fair enough to say.
Coaching. Probably with this performance, if a new coach comes in and watches some of these film from this team, if he sees a guy quitting, that guy's on the chopping block too.
Yeah.
I don't care what is going on. That is not a professional.
Yeah.
You know, that's just somebody having a little fucking pity party.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit.
Yeah. No, I agree. And well, it kind of brings us going into this next game. We're playing the 49ers. Okay. So I did do some stats on it, and I do have some stats. And they're pretty even on everything. You know what that is?
They're both...
They suck. Both teams fucking suck. Okay? So this is your stat of the day. Both teams suck.
Who sucks worse?
Yeah, the bottom line is who sucks worse and who's willing to put it out there so that they're not the worst team.
And these two teams have had some great games in the past.
We'll talk about the history of
them.
You told me one time that you felt like they were almost the arch enemy of
Giants. They had to go through San Francisco, obviously, you know, with... back in the playoff times, but just a couple of years ago, when they were back in the 2012 season, when the Giants went on to win the Super Bowl, they had to go through again. And I'm telling you, if you want to respect Manning, John, you have got to watch that game. You know, matter of fact, we're going to watch that game.
Okay.
We could probably pull it up on YouTube. He got pounded.
Yeah.
But he just kept getting up and playing football.
Yeah.
I mean. So there have been a handful of games like that. Back in the other Super Bowl run, they had to go through San Francisco as well.
Right.
So these teams have seen each other really in the playoffs a few times and have had some awesome games.
Yeah.
Awesome games.
Well, I hope we're going to see a better Giants team. I don't care if they lose. I just want them to lay it out on the field. I want a good, solid game. You know, at this point, I want competitive football. You know, we're not even getting competition here, you know? So that's my biggest thing. As far as let's talk a little bit about the future and within this season, not beyond this season. Where are you with the idea of starting to maybe see some of the other talent? That was definitely brought up by Blueberry about nobody's job is safe, and now it's time to start evaluating other talent at all positions. So, are you feeling the same thing at this point, or?
I mean, to me, you put your best team on the field all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I understand. I think that some of the fans are looking. Everybody's curious if Eli Manning is when's it going to be his last year.
Yeah.
You know, so you want to kind of start seeing maybe this guy that
Webb.
they drafted, Davis Webb, to see if he can do something. I think he'll take some snaps.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to have to be a game that's out of hand. He won't start a game.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to start a game unless Manning gets injured.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll see him.
Yeah.
You know, besides him, I don't really know who else.
There's still the talk in reference to Manning, of course, is we don't want to see him get hurt for two reasons. First of all, because if he is on the team next year, we want a fresh Eli Manning. We don't want somebody with a torn ACL or anything like that. A healthy
quarterback.
Yeah, a healthy quarterback. But part two would be the fact that if they do decide to trade him or he asks for a trade, then
I just can't see that.
yeah, I know a lot of people said that about Peyton before he left the Colts.
Yeah, but the ownership of the Colts is not the ownership of the Giants.
I understand.
I can't see that with the Tishes and the Mars. I can't see it. I can't see it.
Yeah.
I built this franchise on Eli in the last 15 years or so.
Yeah.
And they banked a lot, you
Right.
know, to get him to as the first pick. And the bottom line is that he has brought them a couple Super Bowls.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so-
well, whatever happens has to be graceful. It has to be graceful. It can't be with lack of respect or anything like that, because he doesn't deserve that. Then the other thing we think about, and I think that we both agree there's a nail in the coffin already, is McAdoo and Reese.
Perhaps. I don't know about Reese.
Yeah.
McAdoo, I'm thinking, yeah.
So, anything further in reference to this game coming up?
No,
How confident are you that the Giants can win this?
I'm not.
I'm not either. But I'm rooting for them.
I'm gonna root like hell.
I love this
And if
team.
they win, I'm gonna be excited.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said last week, I hated them on Monday, and I'm disappointed and embarrassed as a fan. But I'm gonna be more embarrassed if they lose to the 49ers. But you know
It
what?
depends on how they play.
Yeah, it really does. The 49ers are itching for a win, maybe more so
Yeah.
than the Giants.
Yeah,
So,
and we
we'll find
got to
out.
see what the Giants defense brings against
Right.
against their running game, because their quarterback is not good.
yeah.
You know, they got a backup guy in there, and he's not good.
Well, with that in mind, we do have some new subscribers to our YouTube channel.
Awesome.
And there they are. Welcome. And thank you very much. Thanks to Tin Cannon. Thanks to Big Blue Nova. Thanks to Sabrina and Julie. And thank you, Rich.
Thanks, John. We had a
Until
fun,
next
We
week.
had a fun week this week. Last night we had a very fun night together.
Yeah.
We hung out and did some fun stuff. So
Yep. So we look forward to seeing you next week. I hope you enjoy. Please leave whatever questions or comments you have at the bottom of the page on the YouTube channel. And please look us up on Facebook at True Blue Review.
thanks, Giants fans.
We're out.